I first want to show you guys this pseudo page I made. So this isn't real, but you can find it in the WordPress. Essentially, all it is, it's going to be a page that defines the flu. So sort of what you guys did, but I just made a little mock copy of it. So here I have the purpose and objectives that kind of just explains that this page will help children understand what the flu is and what types of vaccinations are available. And then through that, I have headings here, what is the flu, and another heading here, what's the flu vaccine. So this is our pseudo page, what we're going to use our demonstration on. And before we go any further, I really want you guys to all take a minute to write down this information. This is called an anchor link code. We're going to be using both of these codes throughout the entire process of jumping from parts of the page. So it looks confusing right now, I know, but we're going to figure it out and I'll show you through demonstration. We're going to make this word flu into a hyperlink. So whenever I click on this word flu, it will take me to this section here that says, what's the flu? So to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is switch to the text option. So right now you're in the visual option, but you can switch to the code of the WordPress by clicking text. So it looks a little different, a little bit more jumbly, but you can still kind of see where everything is. You can see here the heading, the purpose and objectives. That was the beginning. What's the flu? That was the other heading. So I'm just going to add a space here really fast, just so you can see it a little clearer. Okay, so I want this word to be the hyperlink word, but I also want this to be where the anchor goes. So we're going to make an anchor first. This is the heading. This is where I want the anchor to be above. So I'm going to insert code right here. This code that says the identification one, and I'll explain what this means. So I'm going to paste that here. So this little A here signifies that you're starting a URL. It just means that you're going to basically make this a hyperlink. And this ID is identifying what's going to be here. And you can pretty much name your identification anything you want. It's just for your own purposes. So I'm going to name it 1. Okay, and see how I have it in quotations? Make sure you always do that. This little guy right here, this signifies the end of this URL branch. Within code, it's like having grammar. So think of this as like the first part of a quotation. So this will be the first part, and this is the end part of the quotation, ending the URL. So I'm going to put this right here above where I want the anchor to be. So now I've identified the anchor. Now I'm going to go to the word flu, and I'm going to make that the hyperlink. So I'm going to go back to my notes, and I'm going to take this code right here, just the first half of the quotation as what we were referencing before, and copy that. And I'm going to put that in front of the word flu. Okay? So now we have this little signifier that it's going to be a URL, and this is the reference word. This is our key identifier that we're referencing the identification over here. But I have to make sure this identification matches up with this code over here. So I'm going to change this to 1 as well, because as you can see, this is the one we have over here. The ID is 1, so we're referencing ID number 1. And we use this pound signal here to always signify that this is referencing something else. Okay, so that's the first half of our quotation. And then after, we're going to have to end the quotation. So we're going to pull up the code again, and we're going to take the last part of it and copy that and put it after the flu. Okay, so really you can see a little bit more how it's more like quotations. Beginning quotations, end quotations, what you're putting the quotations around, which is the word flu. So then, if I click Preview Changes, we'll go up to another screen, and you'll see that the word flu is now blue and underlined. If I click on that, it'll take me to what's the flu. Let's say we also want to hyperlink types of vaccinations to the other subsection, which was what's the flu vaccine, right here. So we're going to do the same process as before. I'm going to give it some space. I'm going to pull up my code. All right, I'm going to go to my identification one. Copy that. Put it over what I want to be the identification, where the anchor will go, which is this what's the flu vaccine. That's where the anchor is going to go above. Okay, I have my signifier, my ID, and I'm going to call this one 2. because my first one I have as 1. So I'm going to make this one 2 instead. Okay, So my anchor is in place. Now I want to make sure that what types of vaccinations, let's just do that. Let's try and make that the word that is hyperlinked. So same as before, I'm going to go to my notes, get the first half, copy, and I'm going to paste it right in front of types. So we have the signifier, referencing, pound, identification. We need to change identification to 2 because, again, we're referencing this anchor over here. Okay, so types of vaccinations, and we're going to end it now with this little guy here. Okay, and paste. Okay, so now we have the beginning of it, and we have the end of it, and the content in the middle. All right, let's preview that change as well. Okay. Perfect. Now you can see that both of them are hyperlinked. What's the flu? And there you have it.